And we are live, guys. Welcome, women of high value. We should probably change the title to girls of high value because my focus is on teenage girls and helping them to prepare for that amazing future that is going to be theirs. I have another channel called the Men of High Value channel where I teach guys to be disciplined, to think big, to amass lots of wealth, to be able to provide for the luxuries of life for women of high value. Thing is that it's like this massive dating game that is going to be built up over the next few years, and I'm preparing both parties for it so both parties are prepared for having a fantastic family in the future, creating amazing babies that will be of future happiness and joy for every single person involved. So, relationship advice for teenage girls is what we're talking about today. And I'm going to make it very, very simple. I'm going to talk about emotions and rational thinking. And first of all, when it comes to emotions, you are going through a lot of changes during that period of time in your early teens. So are boys. Which means the more emotional boys and girls are, and this is the most emotional that you've ever been in your entire lives thus far, if you're in your early teens, then emotions are back and forth, which means that it's up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And the more you become involved with boys and the more boys become involved with girls, the more up and down issues you are going to have emotionally. You're going to be happy when they like you, and then you're going to be depressed when they don't. And it's the same thing with girlfriends. You know, girls with girls, you know, you're going to be happy when they accept you, and then you're going to be depressed when you guys are fighting. Now, it's easier to handle girls at this stage and learning to understand how to work with girls, because boys are going through their own issues at this point in time. Their only thing that they're doing is they're continuously, whenever they have the opportunity to do so, they're pushing the boundaries further and further to get into girls' pants. I know that from experience, and I was a religious kid. I was in my teenage years as well, and even though I heavily believed in my religious standpoint, I still wanted to get inside girls' pants. Now, that's like insane for me, because it was almost like I had like schizophrenic type of thinking, you know, like I was two different people. I was like, one, you had the animal side of me, and then the other part was like, you know, I want to have a good relationship to God, and I want to be doing the right thing and treat girls, you know, good and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is that the friends that I was spending time with were not thinking about God. They weren't thinking in the same mindset, and so they were, you know, putting me inside the thinking that I needed to get inside the girl's pants. But not only that, just simply my developments in my body as a kid, and you know, and looking at porn and all that different things that happens in your teenage years directed me towards wanting to be with the girl sexually. Would that have been a very wise thing to do? Absolutely not. Fortunately, I managed to get married as a virgin. Me personally, I think that was an amazing feat, and that, like, it's fantastic that I managed to do that. I'm so grateful that I did, by the way, because, like, a lot of things could have gone wrong if I would have had sex with those girls. And especially if I hadn't used protection, like, basically a lot of things could have gone wrong, and I'm very grateful that they didn't. Right now, today, I have a wonderful family, wonderful wife, 3 beautiful kids, and I couldn't have wanted it any other way. I got married at 23, and she was 22, so we were very young, but man, it's created so much joy and happiness for us, and it will do so for decades to come because we understand how relationships work. So, my point is this. Boys during that time are confused by the fact of they're being raised by their parents to treat girls nicely, but then they're also learning from YouTube, from media, from their friends that it's only when they treat girls badly that they get what they want, or that girls are actually interested in them. Now let me explain this concept completely for you so you know it once and for all why you like bad guys, or why you like cool boys, or why you like guys, or you find them interesting when they don't care about you, or they basically don't like, where they look down on you. Now, let me explain that concept for you. It basically derives from the fact that women are only turned on or only interested in guys that have higher value than them. Which means that if the guy has several girls that are interested in him, then this guy will basically have the option of choosing which girl he wants. Now, all of these girls are basically together. He's not the one who's increasing his value. The girls are the ones who are increasing his value from the fact that they all want the same guy. It's kind of like supply and demand thing. Let me explain the supply and demand thing, which is basically that if there's something that a lot of people want, the person who owns that thing can drive up the prices, can basically increase the prices however he wants. Like, let's say, for example, I'll use a ridiculous example, but let's say smoothies at McDonald's on a very hot day. And you basically get in there and there's like an auction going on. Now, obviously, this would never happen. But you're in the McDonald's and then the guy says, hey, there's one smoothie left. It is ready. It's perfect. And it's going to make you so happy. You're going to love it. And we're going to have an auction, which basically is, we're going to start at $1 or we're going to start at 10 cents, whatever it is. And the more people that are interested in that offer, they're like, oh yeah, I want that smoothie. I want that smoothie. And then what's going to happen? He's like, yeah, well, this person has said $2. What about you? Do you want it for $3 and $4? And then basically, because a lot of people are interested in it, the value raises. Now that you understand that, now you know that you might not have liked that guy if you were the only one that liked him. Does that make sense? So the fact that other people are driving up his price and making him valuable is basically causing you to think that he has value when he might not. And I can promise you, no teenage boys have anything valuable to offer you. At all. They've got nothing. Okay? The more you realize that, the less interest in guys you will have. I've told my mom about this channel and telling her that my goal is to help young girls to avoid boys in their teenage years. Okay? Like boys that, that are kind of the same age, kind of going through the motions as well, just as them. Because it prepares them and increases their value, the girl's value, for their future husband, which is the most important, preparation for a massively happy life. Is to increase your value, not lower it. Increase your value and make sure that that value remains high, so that there's only one guy that is not only willing, but also the one who actually wants you and then takes you along for the ride. Creating an amazing life with you. The thing is that your self-worth is completely correlated and linked to your happiness. Which means that if other people reject you, you will suddenly feel that your self-worth is low. Like, it will tank. The moment other people say, haha, you like this and that and the other, which is basically bullying, your self-worth goes down like this, because you start believing them. You're like, oh, is that true what they think about me? And you start doubting about yourself, and this is what all girls go through, in life. Like I was one of the cool guys in school, right? So what I would say to girls had a massive effect on them. Like, for example, one time I bullied a girl for being overweight. I completely regret that, obviously, now, and I even regretted it back then as well. And, but the point is, I didn't know what I was doing. I was growing up being kind of like a cool but low value kid because of the way that I treated people and the way I treated girls. And I completely changed all of that aspect and became a nice boy. And then I was going to get married. And the problem was that now that I was a nice boy, no girls wanted me. Like, you got to understand that whole male and female dynamics, which I'm sharing with you on this channel, because it just makes complete sense of the world. Finally. Like, relationships is a science that you can simply learn once and for all, but it takes some time to understand the nitty-gritty, which I'm going to go through on this channel. Actually, from now on, this is it. This is the only thing I'm talking about. I'm talking about relationship advice for teenagers, for teenage girls specifically, until we've got like 1,000 subscribers. Right now, we've got 9 subscribers. Right now, relationship advice for teenagers. You guys are my target market. You guys comment down below. You guys tell me what your problem is. I will focus all of my efforts on sharing this with you guys, because if I can help you guys get through that most difficult time of your life, which is not supposed to be difficult, it's supposed to be the easiest time of your life, to be honest. But me, in my personal opinion, I feel that women should have an easy life throughout their entire lives. Very idealistic, but my goal in life is to unburden women and children. That's my purpose. That's my goal. That's what I'm about. I unburden women and children. And basically, throughout my life, in my personal opinion, I've been burdening women. And I burdened my wife by giving her 3 kids way too soon and not having the financial means to give her the lifestyle that she deserves. So, and that's me being 23 years old and working hard and massively in order to provide for my family. How do you think a teenage boy could do that for you? He can't. So forget about him. It's not worthy. Like, the best relationship advice that a teenage girl can get is that she shouldn't need any relationship advice. Okay? That's the best advice. So if it's possible for you to avoid boys altogether throughout this time, like, what is this channel going to be about if I'm saying it's going to be about relationship advice, yet you're not going to be spending any time with boys? I know, it's weird, but it's preparing you to understand the world, to understand yourself, to understand everything. My tagline to my Men of High Value channel is, understand the woman and you will understand the world. If you can understand yourself, you can understand the world. If you understand the world, you've basically kind of solved the matrix. You've solved the difficulties of life. And now it's just basically to teach that to others, because the only problem you have once you've solved things and made things easy for yourself, then it's basically allowing the husband and the guys to take care of what it needs to get done by providing them the motivation to do so, and then just enjoying life. That's it. So, just going back to the self-worth is directly related to your happiness. There's nothing else in life. Life is about happiness and joy. You're supposed to have happiness and joy. That's it. That's why we were created. That's why we're designed the way we're designed. That's why you are a sexual creature, because you were designed to have happiness and joy. But that happiness and joy is not that exciting with teenage boys. Trust me. Teenage boys have no idea what they're doing in bed, so don't allow their curiosity to spill over into your life, because it's just going to be confusing. It's just going to create rejection. It's just going to lower your self-worth, your reputation, your name is going to be, basically decreasing. And you want your name to be high value. That's the name of this channel. I'm going to change it to Girls of High Value. That's just what I'm going to do. Anyway, this is the Women of High Value channel. Going to be the Girls of High Value channel. I'll see you again tomorrow.